I am concerned that it will expand into other hardcore sales pitches because everyone wants to sell what they're selling. So that certain 401ks will offer certain hedge funds, and then people are going to say, oh, you qualify for this. You really should do this. It's like, well, hold on. Why should I do this? How does this work into the overall plan? Like, pump the brakes a little bit. Welcome to How to Retire on Time, a show that answers your retirement questions. Say goodbye to the oversimplified advice that you've heard hundreds of times. This show is all about getting to the nitty-gritty so that we can understand truth behind investments, products, and strategies. As always, this show is not financial advice. Do your research, but hey, enjoy the ride. Text your questions to 913-363-1234, and we'll feature them on the show. David, what do we got today?
Hey, Mike, what do you think about private equity becoming available in the 401k?
I've got mixed feelings on this.
And so in case everybody missed it, there was some talk about maybe potential legislation or
private
something.
equity becoming a part of the 401k. They're loosening the ERISA, that's the 401k regulations. Instead of it's just a couple of mutual funds, a couple of ETFs, a couple of bond funds, whatever, that they're going to try and expand it to private equity. Now, private equity is a tricky thing because you have to qualify to invest in private equity or these private placements. So think of like hedge funds, for example. The hedge funds typically have higher fees and performance-based fee structure. So where there's more growth potential, keyword potential, there are higher fees, and you need to be a more sophisticated individual to qualify for these things. So the complexity of how they would do this is going to be interesting to see how that would roll out. Is private equity right for people? I mean, maybe.
Can we define? It sounds like a very kind of sexy, mysterious, private equity.
Yeah, so private equity, you can buy private placement stocks, for example. So stocks not traded on the public markets. So you go to BlackRock or these different funds, and they'll be able to sell you as a broker. They'll be able to sell you different shares of a company that's not publicly traded. Okay. So I think See's Candy, for example, is a privately owned company. It's owned by Berkshire Hathaway.
All right, okay.
Berkshire Hathaway they're not going to do this, but they could say, we're going to do some private equity. We're going to send some of the shares and let other people invest into the company. But you'd have to go through a brokerage to buy equity in that. And then you can have different funds, private equity funds, that buy these kind of private placement things. So it's the more restrictive side of things. There's liquidity issues. So you can't just sell it whenever you want. Someone has to want to buy it from you. If you want your money back, they might have a percentage where they're able to they'll buy, the company will buy it from you, buybacks. Like there are things like that can happen. So there's a lot of complexity there. But overall, people think, private, this is for the wealthy. It's really, really nice. You can get rich on the public stuff. It's not necessarily better. It's just different.
Okay.
So don't think that because you have to be wealthy, you get access to it, that it's better. Hedge funds blow up and create horrible returns sometimes. Sometimes they make incredible returns. It just depends. So is it better or worse?
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's better or worse for anyone, but what I do want to say is that I appreciate the expansion of 401k investment opportunities. I am concerned that it will expand into other hardcore sales pitches because everyone wants to sell what they're selling. So that certain 401ks will offer certain hedge funds, and then people are going to say, oh, you qualify for this. You really should do this. It's like, well, hold on. Why should I do this? How does this work into the overall plan? Like, pump the brakes a little bit. I'm concerned that it's going to expand into the insurance space a little too much, and people are going to get scared to death into buying a bunch of annuities too soon and not realize that there's limited growth potential. An annuity might be a great bond fund alternative, maybe. Depends on the product, because remember, annuities can also be garbage. Just like you can buy a CD, for like 0.5% today.
Yeah, right.
You can buy some annuities that stink. You can buy some annuities that might have more growth potential. But even then, that's nuanced. Are you buying a fixed one, like a CD? Are you buying a fixed indexed one, like a buffered ETF? Like a buffered ETF, right? So it can It can grow, but there's limited growth on that. So it's not going to outperform the stock market over the long-term period of time, but it hedges against the downside. Or you could buy a variable annuity. That's a whole rat's nest of fees unto itself.
Hmm.
And why would you buy a variable annuity in a 401k anyway? Because we'll just leave that there.
Okay. Right.
Just leave that there. It doesn't make sense to me. But all things considered, when you open up things, other people are going to want in, and so it might continue to expand. What I wish would happen is that they just opened up the 401ks to let people self-manage them and call it good.
Just let them buy whatever stocks they want.
I would love it if people could take their 401k and even buy real estate.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, you have to separate employment, roll your 401k into a self-directed IRA, and then buy real estate. So it's a very complicated process. Let's just simplify this and let people invest as they want. People are smart today. People are very smart. They do their research.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating to have limited access to it. I also wish that they would lower the restrictions so advisors like us could just manage their 401ks and link things together. That's not the case. So there are some companies out there that will say, well, we'll manage your 401ks, and like they have a back end kind of way to like do this, but the client's paying double fees. That's stupid. Who wants to pay double fees? Because in your 401k, you're paying an advisory fee. So I do hope that the 401k opens up to have more options available, that it's more ethical, in my opinion, that there are less fees. You're going to have admin fees. You're going to have certain fees that are just always a part of it. But if you can give people more options on how they could manage their funds, I think that's a good direction to go to. I think private equity is the start of that. But I'm concerned about how protected. I mean, your 401k, you're very protected on who's going to talk to you about your 401k, who has access to that. And when the salespeople sneak in to sell their product, that's going to get very tricky. And I'm concerned that people will be taken advantage of by those limited marketing pitches. That's my take on it.
All right.
Any last thoughts?
Should I max out my 401k contributions every year?
If you can afford it, yeah.
Okay.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. Make sure that you like and subscribe first, and then go to www.retireontime.com to grab a copy of my book, How to Retire on Time, take a few courses about retirement, join my newsletter, and so much more. Now, if you want to work with one of our advisors here at Kedrick Wealth, who can help you put together a retirement plan that's designed to last longer than you, just click the button, Get Started. Everything we do is intended to help you retire on time. We hope you enjoy, and we'll see you in the next show.